صلى الله على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. We'll carry on, inshallah, talking about the meaning of Surah Al-Baqarah. And in the hadith, ما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم. So no people meet in the house of the houses of Allah, read the book of Allah and discuss it among them. So what you need to do to prepare some at home, so when you come here you contribute to the discussion. So obviously today is the last inshallah, and then we will go back to will be Ramadan, inshallah. We'll come back after Ramadan, after Eid, inshallah, to carry on. So you have 4 weeks to prepare and come back, and we'll be discussing, inshallah, together. So here Allah continued educating the Muslims about the mentality of the previous religions who were changed by its own followers. And Allah sent the Quran and guaranteed that it will never change. And we're looking today about competition, Hafz al-Quran competition, memorizing the Quran in Algeria. And there's so many people learn the Quran by heart across the globe, across the Muslim world. And subhanAllah, not protected the Quran by being the words in the Mus'haf, in the book, but also in the heart of people, in the mind of people. So they have learned the Quran. Yesterday we had a group of school children. They came, and one of them was, they were year 4. And one of them was with hijab, a girl, and mashallah, she knows 2 chapters from the Quran, Juzu Amma and Juzu Tabarak. And with full hijab, she wasn't like, feeling embarrassed. And she's the only one with the hijab. The rest, they were.
There's only maybe 1 or 2 non-white people as well.
Yeah, just one brown boy, and then one this girl. The previous lot also, there were only 1 or 2 brown. Yeah, they're from Marston Green.
Is it a Catholic school?
No, it's a state school. I don't know. It's a state school, I think. In my granddaughter's school in Dorage, not only she is the Muslim and she is the Asian, she is the only not blonde. All the girls blonde. So there's a picture they took with all the girls in the class, and she's the only one who's black hair. So how much the subhanallah. So Allah said here, وقالوا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقالوا كونوا هودا أو نصارى تهتدوا قل بل ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. So here Allah the reply to those who said you can only be guided if you are Jew or Christian. So the answer will be, from one like me, will be no, we are Muslims. Allah said no. He took us back to the origin of the Islamic religion, which is named Muslims, which is Ibrahim. So he took us above all the Christian and Jew and their ancestors and then Prophet till he said no, it's the religion of Ibrahim, and he wasn't joining a god with Allah, and he wasn't a pagan, and he wasn't mushrik. So we are back to even before Jesus and before Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And they cannot deny the prophets of Ibrahim, neither of them. Now there is attempt to form a group, Ibrahimi alliance in the Middle East. So say that we, the Jew and the Muslim and the Christian, have the same in common, and try to, they want to come back through the back door to force the existence of Israel. So we are part of Ibrahim, aren't you? Yeah, and you are. So okay. So stop saying, the Zionists should leave Israel and should go back to Palestinians, trying to the back door, supported by a couple of Arab nations who their ancestors we don't know, but they seem to carry the same idea. And Allah Azza wa Jalla instructed us, قُولُوا آمَنَّا, reply to them, قُولُوا, say, آمَنَّا, we believed in Allah Azza wa Jalla, and what have been sent down to us, and what have been sent down to Ibrahim, wa Ismail, wa Ishaq, wa Yaqub, wa al-Asbat, the 12 prophets, Yusuf one of them, and Benjamin, and what Musa has been given, and what Isa has been given, and what all the prophets received from their Lord. And we do not dissociate between any of them. We do not differentiate between any of them, and we are submitting to Allah Azza wa Jal. All of them are Muslimun, all of them submitted to Allah, and we believe in all of them. So all the prophets we believe. You don't have to tell us be Christian or Jew to be guided, because we are already accepting Jesus, we're already accepting Musa and all the prophets before him and after him and in between. So subhanAllah, Islam came inclusive. You don't get anybody out. So I don't know, probably I was more inviting children to think than you did. Like, how would you know there's God and these sort of things. The children will accept. Like I said, one of them asked me, how many gods is there? I said, how many head teachers you have in your school? How many kings in Britain? And how many prime ministers? There's only one. Yeah, you were there. It's quite nice. So even the child will accept that this is the correct mentality and the correct brain thinking. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. They need to believe in what you believe in. At least we are inclusive. At least we are not pushing people out of the belief. So if you believe in all these prophets, you're one of us. You are guided. And if you turn your back away, then you are actually fi shiqaq. You're splitting away from us. You are in Shiism. What Shiism means?
Division. Schism.
Schism. What schism means?
Breaks.
Break. Like schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia is the split of the mind. So you are fi shiqaq. You drifted away. Shiqaq usually, shaqiq is your brother. Shaqiq. Shiqaq, you split this brotherhood. You argue and split the brotherhood. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said He will be sufficient to protect you from them. فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهِ. This one word, fa, sa, to, yakfi, kafa yakfi, fa mudari, and kaf here, فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ Allah. And you are maf'ul bihi. So it's quite one word but contain a long meaning. So, but fa,
Root word in there.
yeah, this word فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ
What's the root letters?
فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهِ, translated here. But Allah will, apart from Allah Azza wa Jal, the rest is the word, this word. But Allah will suffice you as against them. So all this sentence is this word, apart from the word Allah. فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ Allah. In one word, if you want to translate it, we will take the full sentence from here to here.
The root word is kafaya.
Kafa,
Kafaya.
suffice or be enough for you. فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ Allah. Allah will protect you from them. Allah will kick them back, kick them away, or stop them, or make them fail. So you don't have to do much. Allah will be enough to get them off your back. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And He is the one who is most hearing and most knowledgeable and all-knowing. All hearing and all-knowing. So there's a similar ayah when how to accept people as part of the Muslim people with some nation. فإن آمنوا وأقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة فإخوانكم في الدين. فإن تابوا وآمنوا وأقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. So they have the minimum to believe, establish a prayer, pay zakah, and then they become your brothers. So they have to believe in what you believed in. We don't believe in what they believe in. They have to believe what we believe in, and we are inclusive. If you look into the Christianity and Judaism, the books, there's a lot of it which is already in the Quran, moral values and being good and peace. And so it's not the Quran abolishing all what's in the Torah or all what's in the Gospel. Most of it still, it has similar in the Quran, but Allah corrected the main aqidah, the main belief, and the main practices with regarding to the law and the criminal law. And now,
I was listening to one Jewish, I think it was a lecturer, rabbi, and he was saying Islam copied most of their religion. So he was saying everything in Islam been enhanced or extended based on Judaism, from fasting to.
I mean, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is that he didn't come to replace it. It's like prophethood to building.
Well, that's what that's what he was saying. It's been extended, enhanced.
Yeah, but he said just to complete. So Islam is not a new thing. It's just a continuation with corrections and improvements.
But it's even more than that. The Prophet ﷺ said that example of me and the rest of the Prophet before me, like somebody build a castle, and everybody come and look into the castle and they say, wow, beautiful this, but there's missing corner, missing brick. And he said, I am that brick. So we don't disagree with him, but that's important brick, the brick which contains the main faith, which is the oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal and Tawheed.
For the specific people, not for Islam for everyone.
Yeah, but
If you go to Jew, people say, I want to be Jew. They say, well, that's easier among Jew. Yeah, you can't be Jew.
The Jewish community, I asked Rabbi Pink, he's the rabbi in Solihull, and he said they have to reject, if you want to become a Jew, they have to reject you 7 times until you come number 8, then they start taking you serious. But they reject you 7 times. So Allah is saying the belief of all these prophets which he mentioned is the sibgha of Allah Azza wa Jal. And the sibgha is not like a paint or anything. Sibgha is what goes sink inside the cells and you can't remove and change the nature and the color of the things. So sibgha, sibagh and sibgha is when you dye a cloth or textile and become part of it, you cannot actually remove it. So this is the sibgha of Allah Azza wa Jal. And who is best than Allah Azza wa Jal's sibgha? And I don't know where he brought this baptized from. And who can baptize better? It's not baptized. It's sibgha is the nature of a human being who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, become like, this is the way they are. Become the sibgha, the dye from Allah Azza wa Jal. He change your true nature, become like a human, nice and kind and humble and this and this. So all these characters become like part of the believer, his characters. But I don't think baptize is the right word to use. It's sibghatullah. But the baptism, why he chose this. If you want to go and see what the ayah,
the Quran option.
yeah, I have the. So Surah Al-Baqarah. What's ayah number?
29.
صبغة Allah. So if you go to other translation, صبغة Allah, the religion of Allah,
If you go to Quran,
and who is better than Allah's
if you go to Quran,
in ordaining a religion. He translated it religion, صبغة, religion. It's in the Arabic. صبغة is dye. You dye the clothes, you dye the textile, you change the color, become part of it. You cannot untie and dye it. You cannot remove the color anymore. So that's a صبغة. الصباغ. صباغ in Arabic is a job. You give him the textile and he soak it in dye and change the color. What did he say, the Quran?
The Quran.com, you can see all the translations, but the best one is our life takes its color from Allah. And who gives a better color than Allah?
Yeah, color. But it's actually the dye, more than color. You dye it. You just change the nature of the person, become, like a dye which you put to change the color of a textile and become
It's like
permanent dye,
Yeah.
and more colorful, more appealing. صبغة الله من أحسن ونحن له عابدون, and we worship him. And then the challenge again, قل تحاجوننا في الله وهو ربنا وربكم. And that's usually when you say this to them, they can't figure out what you're talking about. If you something, who's your Lord? Who's your God? I worship your God. You're correct. You worship your God. And they go, what do you mean? Yeah, it's the same. The only God, the one God. So why you argue with us? Why are you disputing? Hujjah, to hajj, you hajj, somebody bring some evidence, another one bring another evidence, and this bring another more evidence and more evidence. الذي حاج إبراهيم في ربه. When Namrud was arguing with Ibrahim about who is your Lord, and Ibrahim said, my Lord is to give his life of death, and he said, I give life and death. Then Ibrahim said, فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق. Allah bring the sun from the east, so bring it from the west. So he defeated him with the argument, the hajjah. وهو ربنا. Why you argue about Allah Azza wa Jal? You need to take the Quran revealed in Mecca and Medina to the Arab of all religions. The Arab who are Christian, they call Allah Allah, they call God Allah, and there's the Arab who are Jew, they call Allah Allah, and there's the pagan who also acknowledged Allah Azza wa Jal. So Allah is a known name for the gods of all the people at that time in that area. Unless you take the personal name of Allah Azza wa Jal, you can't argue with the English, because they say, well, where this Allah came from? This is not a known name to us. When we say God is generic name, while Allah is a personal name, you left a personal name to a generic name. You can't come to everybody and say, hello man, hello man, hello man, hello woman. Can't say this. It's hello Big Z, hello Talha, hello Ahmad, hello Muhammad Azam, and things. You need to address people with their names, and so Allah Azza wa Jal. So the ayah, they talk about Allah in their way, and they say Isa Ibnullah. That's what they say. They don't say the son of God. They say Ibnullah, the Arab Christian. So you acknowledge the existence of Allah, and this is his son. So Tahajjuna, you argue with us about Allah, and he is our Lord and he is your Lord. Rabbuna wa Rabbuka. And we are responsible for our deeds, and you are responsible about your deeds. وَلَكُمْ أَعْمَالُكُمْ وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُخْلِصُونَ. We are sincere in our faith to Allah Azza wa Jal, to him. Now, obviously they will claim they are sincere. So what are you going to do about it if they say, yeah, we are sincere as well? What would you say? How would you answer that?
Sincere, it's not about sincerity. So sincerity to what?
In our faith, he put here, وَنَحْنُ sincere, وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُخْلِصُونَ. We are purifying ourselves, submitting to him, we're sincere. We never betray Allah Azza wa Jal. Because one of the things they did is they changed the Quran, the Bible. They changed the Gospels and they changed the Torah, and they keep changing it. There's nothing like, they stop. The Vatican come every few years and change something in our Christianity, make it halal or make it haram, forbid it. So they keep changing. So if you are mukhlis, sincere, faithful to your government or your boss or your firm, you don't change their system or their law or their practice, and you claim that you're sincere. So you become like the Chinese whisper. They kept changing until you don't know whether it's from God or not. Because there's things in it, especially the scientific things, and they change it beyond recognition. This is why science anti-religion, because the changes about Allah Azza wa Jal and about the creation is so deep and so far-reaching that became unscientific. One of the things I taught my student, not last week, the week before, about the scientific things in the Quran, it can never be from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because the information there is in keeping with the 21st century's discovery in 20th century. It's not possible to actually tell the meaning at that time. Even going from Mecca to Medina, from Mecca to Jerusalem on Isra, they only believed in it because the Prophet told them, but they didn't believe that a man can go from Mecca to Jerusalem and back in a few hours. But now we say, why are you disputing about it? Why you take it? It's difficult. Now we're ridiculous, the one who says it's not possible. So when Allah said, الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكلهم في فلك يسبحون, each one swim in its own orbit, is actually the orbit the moon swim around. He swim around the earth, but in that way, because the earth is going around the sun, and the sun and the earth and the whole solar system moving in the Milky Way. So the ayah is now you can say exactly this what it meant. When in the past they wouldn't be able to, to give the meaning of the ayah. And luckily, our ancestors never changed the Quran, never changed the Hadith as well. Because if they changed the Hadith or dropped out the Hadith, because there's some Hadith da'if, luckily they kept it. Because you might take two Hadiths contradicting each other, but now we understand that both are correct. Like when the Hadith say, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تشرق الشمس من مغربها, the day of judgment will not take place until the sun comes from the west. And there's another Hadith, the sun will come, the day of judgment, to the middle of the sky and goes back where it came from. So how will you reconcile the two Hadiths? Afif. The sun will go to the middle of the sky, then go back where it came from. Another Hadith, the day of judgment will not take place until the sun comes from the west.
That's in the science to discover that the core of the earth moving that way, but it starts changing the moving. So it will move that way. Earth will stop and move other way around.
So it's moving anti-clockwise, then will stop and move clockwise.
Yeah, because core.
Well, how would you explain the sun will rise to the middle of the sky and then goes back?
So at some point it will stop and start reversing maybe.
Yeah, any more? Yeah?
I think it might be it comes from the east side, then it stops in the middle of the sky and goes back to the west, because that's what it usually does.
But the other hadith says come from the west. The sun will come from the west.
I'll answer that in a bit, but there's the hadith of the Dajjal where he says the day of the length
Equal
of
to 1 year.
the length of a year. Maybe the earth is slowing in rotation and then it goes back.
No,
that's different. That's different.
Different.
Yeah, that's different.
I thought, the one he says 1 day equal to 1 year, and I think about it and said, okay, is it possible to do that things in the earth? Yes, because 1 day needs to be part of the day, part of the night. Yeah, if you go to the top Siberia, there's 6 months day only and 6 months night. So if you want to convert to day, 1 year equal to 1 day.
The North Pole or the South Pole.
Yeah.
The day is 6
1
months night, 6 months
Yeah.
day. Yeah, that's one. So will be he will appear in the North Pole or South Pole.
Maybe people Muslim, maybe Muslim will run over
Yeah.
there to
Yeah.
there, and they spend 1 day for like a whole year. They have to pray.
Yeah.
estimate.
What the answer to that? The sun will be probably in Australia, goes to middle of the sky in Australia while we are night. Then we'll go back to the west, to the east, and will come from the west in us. So we will be during the night, they will be during the day. But there's another ayah that could be day or could be night. You can't fail the Quran, you can't fault it at all.
Because there's only one sun. You cannot make two suns to fit.
Yeah, but you can't fault them. You can't be like, how is it that will come from the west? What about people in Australia? The other hadith came to complement this hadith. So you can't fault it. Always, the problem is not all Muslims know all the hadiths. And they don't know the Quran. Forget the hadith now.
I think the Earth's actually the north, due north is moving, it's changing at the moment on the Earth. That's already changing. So, it may be that the Earth's actually turned to such an extent.
You're answering now at Dajjal, or you're answering the
East and west. The sun rising from the east, from the west.
Yeah.
The east.
But the sun will be in Australia. Let's say we are here night, and they are in Australia here day. So the sun, because the Earth turns anti-clockwise, it will come, appear, and then go back. When it go back, it appear from the west in us. So for them, the Day of Judgment take place in the middle of the day. For us, the Day of Judgment happen in the middle of the night.
So the Earth will start turning the other way around.
Yeah, it seems stop and turn the other way around. And this is make the two hadiths complement each other. So, and if the other hadiths dropped out, you will have difficulty. What about Australia? It will be day. The Day of Judgment will take place only in half the earth. So the hadiths complement each other to say that Rabbuna wa Rabbukum. And we'll stop here, inshallah. We'll come back after Ramadan.
Sister's got a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
I wanted to, I heard this hasn't got to do with